It happens every 4 years, like clockwork. The entire world just stops. Economies slow down, sometimes conflicts even pause, and billions, literally billions of people all turn their attention to one single game. This is the story of the most watched event in human history, the World Cup. So let's get into why it holds such incredible power over all of us.
And that right there, that's not just some clever marketing tagline, it's a documented reality. For those 90 minutes, stock markets can actually slow down, ceasefires have been called, the whole rhythm of normal life just bends to the will of the drama unfolding on a simple patch of grass. It's wild. And here's the sheer scale of that obsession. Over 3.5 billion people. I mean, think about that. That's nearly half of every single human being on Earth who tuned in to watch the last tournament. Can you think of anything else we all share on that kind of level? I really can't.
So yeah, that's the big question, isn't it? Because the answer isn't just about sports. Oh no. It's about politics, it's about our psychology, it's about massive amounts of money, and it's about this fundamental human need we all have to belong. To really get it, we've got to peel back the layers of this thing, and we're going to start with its history.
So that first layer is all about power. You see, the World Cup wasn't born in some idealistic bubble. From the moment the very first whistle blew, it was tangled up in national ambition and global politics. This timeline really shows you how the tournament has always been a perfect snapshot of its time. Back in 1930, it was a huge deal just to get teams to make that grueling, long boat trip to Uruguay. But then, just 4 years later, it's being used as a massive propaganda stage for Mussolini's Italy. Fast forward to 1970, and color TV turns Pele's Brazil into these global, almost mythical icons. And now, look at 2026. It's a massive, continent-spanning commercial monster.
And this really gets to the heart of the tension that's always been there. Its founder, Jules Rimet, he had this beautiful dream. He saw it as a way for the world to heal after the horrors of World War I. But almost immediately it became this incredibly powerful geopolitical tool, a stage for propaganda, a way for nations to rebrand themselves, even a proxy battleground during the Cold War. The dream and the reality were two very different things.
Okay, but politics and power, that stuff explains why governments and nations care. It doesn't really explain why we care so much, right? To get that, we need to peel back the next layer, our own psychology. Why does a single goal or a heartbreaking loss feel so incredibly personal? Well, the answer is kind of baked into our wiring.
It pretty much comes down to this thing called social identity theory. Basically, for a few weeks every 4 years, the team isn't them, it's us. Their fight is our fight. It's this phenomenon where the boundary between you and the group just kind of dissolves. So when they win, it doesn't just feel like a victory, it feels deep down like our victory.
And if you want to see just how powerful this is, look no further than the Maracanazo. In 1950, Brazil was hosting, they were expected to win, and they lost the final to their tiny neighbor Uruguay. The silence from those 200,000 fans in the stadium, it wasn't just the loss. It created a genuine, lasting national trauma that haunted the entire country for decades. The loss was so deep, it actually created a specific term in Brazil, the stray mongrel complex. It was this collective national feeling of being second best, an inferiority complex born from a soccer game. It was a psychological wound that, in the nation's mind, was only truly healed when they finally won it all in 1958. Just think about that. That is the power of a single game. And on a more personal level, the World Cup creates what psychologists call flashbulb memories. I bet you have one. Think about it for a second. Where were you for that iconic goal or that unbelievable save? The tournament gives entire generations a shared timeline of these vivid, emotional moments that we all carry with us for the rest of our lives.
Okay, so all of that brings us to the modern era. Because underneath all the passion and the psychology we've been talking about, there's a massive, multi-billion-dollar machine of media, money, and global influence humming away. And a key term you have to know in the modern game is sports washing. This is basically when a country uses the glamour and prestige of hosting an event like the World Cup to polish its global image, hoping that all the excitement on the field will distract everybody from other, less flattering issues. Hosting has become the ultimate soft power project.
And the financial stakes are just enormous. The projected economic impact for the 2026 World Cup is over $11 billion.
dollars. That's a powerful engine for everything from tourism to construction to media rights, and it's exactly why the fight to host the tournament has become such a fierce geopolitical contest in itself.
But what's so fascinating to me is that even though the whole world is watching the exact same game, we're not all seeing the same thing. In South America, it can be almost a religious experience. In Europe, it often feels like a continuation of old historical rivalries. For many African nations, it's this huge source of continental pride and hope. And in the USA, it's becoming this massive, patriotic, cultural event. Same game, totally different meanings.
And look, this power can be a really profound force for good. For 1 month, it creates this incredible shared global conversation we all take part in. It gives smaller nations, like in Iceland, a massive platform they never have otherwise. And it inspires millions of kids all over the world to get outside and play.
But, and this is a big but, that power has a dark side. That prestige we talked about is used for sports washing. The insane costs can leave host nations with crippling debt and useless stadiums. The sport itself has been rocked by corruption scandals like FIFA, and all that intense emotion can boil over into toxic nationalism and has even been linked to some really serious social problems.
So, we've peeled back the layers of politics, psychology, and money. What's left at the very core? What is the simple, human truth that gives this game its unbelievable enduring power?
I think it's this. In a world that feels more and more fractured every day, the World Cup might just be the last true global campfire. It's the one place we all still gather to watch the same story unfold, together at the same time. At the end of the day, it answers one of our most profound, ancient human needs, the need to belong to something bigger than ourselves.
And that leaves us with one final really important question. As this tournament gets bigger and richer and more politically complicated, can it possibly hold on to that simple, beautiful soul at its center? The answer to that question won't just tell us about the future of a game. It might just tell us a little something about how we choose to come together as a planet.